Hello, I'm Paul, the guy behind a Fab Journey, and welcome to the the Fab Journey podcast. Look, you can read about it obviously on our Substack, or you can watch it on YouTube or listen to it via all your favorite podcast players. Links down below in the show notes. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we've had a new Armory deck released, which is Pleiades, and look, Ira is the other Armory deck that is readily available at the moment, or at least in my game store it is. These are the only two classic constructed legal decks that are sort of readily available at the moment. So this is the way I think that most people are entering the game at the moment. Look, we have got Rhinar coming out in November and Arachne in December. So there will be a couple of extra ways for new players to get into the game soon. But for now, most people are coming in via Ira and Pleiades, would be my guess. So the question is, which one of these two decks is the strongest out of the box? And to test this, I thought that it would be a bit of fun to have a few games between my daughter and myself. But my daughter normally plays an upgraded Ira deck. I have also played Ira and also Valda for a bit, for a couple of weeks, and then also building out a Pleiades deck as well. And it's going to be my main classic constructed deck going forward, I think. So rather than both of us just playing one hero, though, what I thought we would do is do a best of three, and we'd switch heroes each game. So that way, hopefully, we'll take out the player factor, and we get to see which one was actually the better deck by the cards rather than the deck itself. Talking about player skill, though, my daughter has always beaten me in the past when we played Classic Constructed. The only time I've kind of beaten her was when we crack shuffle play with the Mastery Guardian set, which again, that's not a Classic Constructed, is it? So that was my only victory over her before going into this. So in the first game, my daughter had the Ira Armory deck, whereas Ira Scarlet Revenger, that is, and whereas I had Pleiades Superstar. I thought I was holding my own as Pleiades, keeping auras in play that I wanted. However, then I tried to force a standing ovation play to get an extra turn. I let all those auras pop, and rather than being auras I actually wanted them to pop, some of them I actually probably would have wanted to have kept, but I wasn't able to get the hit through. My daughter blocked it, so I didn't. So I lost all of those auras, and I didn't get the extra turn either. That was a mistake on my part. I never got the auras back into play that I needed, and I was always having to block, and she took the win quite easily. Quite easily, sorry, not quite evenly. She commented that she was missing all her upgraded cards. It was difficult to get things going with so many conditional go-against. So it was a bit more clunky than a more tuned deck. But it was 1-0 to Ira at that point. So game two, we switched over decks. The initial momentum was with Ira, as I was able to go wide and take the lead. Repeated big attacks, though, from with auras popping, did manage to pull things back fairly even. After playing Ira so much, my daughter was finding it definitely interesting that the high cost of some of the cards was kind of strange for her. Look, there is a mental switch you need between the Guardian and Ninja style of play. They are definitely very different. I managed to chip away my daughter's health with the attack reactions. That total lack of defense reactions making it impossible for Pleiades to stop those attacks without overblocking everything. And you can't just overblock everything when someone's got to go again. So definitely a deficiency there. I decided to go for the kill, and I lost my Edge of Autumn. Oops. Look, that's a mistake I've made before playing Ira as well. You do want to keep that Edge of Autumn. Losing that sword is a big loss. And whilst I had my daughter down to 1 life, it was proving difficult to get that final blow in. Fatigue was what won it in the day for me. She ran out of cards. I had 2 left. Yes, I eventually did win it. I shouldn't have gambled my weapon, but still Ira got the win, and it was 2-0. On to game 3 then. Back with me playing Pleiades and my daughter on Ira. I went first, set things up with a couple of auras. My daughter went 5 wide, and I decided just to eat it up and let my return attack go into it. With Terra Sunder there, and I was going in for 11, but we ended up at 27 to 23. So she took the advantage there. Perhaps I shouldn't have eaten that opening salvo. A couple of big hits later, though, that went over her blocks, and I got it back to 26 all. A bit of back and forth, got us down to about 22, 23-ish. My early hands just had too many auras in them, meaning that I didn't have enough attacks to properly, didn't have enough attack cards, and I was having to swing my weapon more often than I would have liked, really, there. And then I ended up with a fist of 4 attacks, attack action cards, with no auras. But I'd also managed to get to go wide a few times to get it down to 11 to 23. My attacks just weren't getting through, unfortunately. And again, that weakness of no defense reactions really told. She wore me down to 26 to 21, and of course at this point it's a lost cause, and she ended up winning it to 0 to 12. We both made mistakes, let's be honest. I ended up with confidence tokens, but was only able to attack with my weapon, so I'm not going to be able to get big attacks in behind those confidence tokens. And my daughter didn't get the resource cards that she needed, and draw again cards to sync up properly. So I had stuff stuck in the arsenal a few times when she'd rather be playing cards. But even so, Ira took this down 3-0. So clearly, off the back of those games, Ira is the stronger deck, and I definitely think she is the easier deck to play straight out of the door. Is the the basic Armory deck perfect? No, it's not. Far from it. Obviously, look, there's clearly there's a clear upgrade path for her, though. There's plenty of suggestions online using things such as Ravenous Rabble for automatic go agains, and Sirens of Safe Harbor to get you that life back, for example. And those on the budget side as well. And there is also obviously the more expensive way of playing her. Look, Pleiades has got some great cards and options to play, but I think she's going to take more time to learn. It can be a bit clunky. You can get some of those, sometimes that fistful of attack action cards. So it's not perfect, and so there definitely is some tuning to do with her deck as well, which is much more combo related from that point of view, I think. Glaring weakness is that lack of defense reactions in the Armory deck. So I think things like Sink Below will be added to most decks very, very quickly after they have been opened. Look, I'm still planning to build out my Pleiades deck for the local classic constructed Armory. But look, some of the upgrades I've seen have up to 24 cards being taken out of the main deck, and all of the armor being replaced as well. So it can be quite an expensive upgrade for Pleiades if you can't swap for those cards, or you're not willing to play with some of those. Whereas I think the Ira deck, straight out of the box, is a better starting place for beginners. So this is the first in what I'm hoping to be a series of the sort of Armory deck series, what I'm going to call the Armory deck series, where we face off different Armory decks straight out of the box against each other, and we carry a league table as to who gets the most wins. Clearly, Ira is top of that table of 2 at the moment with 3-0, and Pleiades is bottom of that table of 2 under 0 and 3. But look, as Rhinar, Arachne, etc. come out, I'll be looking at adding more decks to the Armory deck series. So please, if you've enjoyed this podcast show, then please do like, share, and subscribe. All of that kind of lovely stuff, so that you don't miss out when we do add more games to the series.